Ready to live on campus at USF Sarasota Manatee? Here's how to apply. First, navigate to the USF Sarasota Manatee Housing website. From there, select Housing Portal. After logging in with your USF email address and NetID password, you will be prompted to select your campus. Select USF Sarasota Manatee. To begin your application, click Apply and then Continue. You will be brought to the first page of the application where you will fill in your personal information, such as your name, gender identity, home address, emergency contact info, hurricane evacuation plan, and contact method preferences. When you're done, hit Continue. The next page allows you to provide your roommate matching preferences. If you have friends you would like to live with, you may also provide us with their name, university ID, and email address. There's also a section in which you can indicate your interest in a living learning community. Housing and Residential Education will attempt to assign you to live alongside students in the corresponding academic colleges. At the bottom of the page, you will be able to select your preferences for which kind of bedroom you'd like. While availability is not guaranteed, we will do our best to place you in your top choice. If you intend to seek an ADA or medical accommodation for this housing agreement, you will be prompted to disclose this on the next page. Please note that checking this box does not officially submit the request for accommodations. Completion of an additional application in the housing portal is required. We will send you an email after you complete your housing application with more information on how to make this request. You will select your meal plan on the next page. Please note that each resident is required to purchase a meal plan. On the next page, you will see a summary of your application. Review its contents to ensure you've filled out these fields correctly. If everything looks good, click Continue. You will then be brought to the page with your housing contract. Review the terms of the agreement and click each checkbox at the bottom of the screen, indicating that you accept the terms laid out. After that, hit I agree and wait for your agreement to be processed. Congratulations! You have completed the student housing application. We will send you a confirmation email afterward, which will lay out the remaining steps you must complete before living on campus. We hope to see you living the Bulls life!
Hello and welcome to USF Housing Live. I'm your host, Elizabeth Fry, the Assistant Director for Communications with Housing and Residential Education at the beautiful University of South Florida in Tampa. We have an exciting episode planned tonight to help you prepare for college. And throughout the season, we'll be talking all about on-campus housing, dining, financial aid, and so much more. So be sure to join us every other Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. to hear from campus experts and also have your questions answered live on the show. So tonight we'll be joined by three guests. First, we'll be joined by the Associate Vice President and Dean of Students for Student Success. Then we'll be speaking with the Executive and Medical Director of the Student Health and Wellness Center. And finally, we'll be joined by a peer advisor leader. So be sure to drop any questions you have in the comments from wherever you're watching, and we'll be sure to answer as many as we can throughout tonight's show. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Dean McDonald. She is the Associate Vice President of Dean of Students at Student Success. Dean McDonald, we are so excited to have you with us tonight. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for asking and for having me here.
Of course. We are always happy to have you on. So why don't you just start for our new viewers by telling us who you are and kind of what your role is here at USF.
Yeah, great. I have one of the best jobs on campus. I have been here for 12 years and about 7 years as the Dean of Students. So as the Dean of Students, I advocate for students. I help students with any crisis that they may be facing or barriers or obstacles to their success. I sit on a lot of committees and I work with a lot of students to hear from them and then also to represent their voice in different places. I have an associate dean who helps me do all of that because you can imagine on a campus of 50,000, that's a lot.
lot of work.
And then in my AVP role, I have a portfolio of about 12 departments who are focused on engaging students at USF, helping them find their place, their sense of belonging, and then to create a community that is conducive to their academics, to their personal success, and their career success. So I've got an amazing team that do a lot of great work with our students.
And we know that you and your team work very hard to make those connections with with the students, get them plugged in, make sure they're excelling here at USF. And you guys offer a lot of resources for students. So why don't you just kind of introduce us to some of them that are available?
It would take all night to talk about all of them. But first of all, we have resources for students that may be facing an obstacle in their time here. And so that is, of course, the Dean of Students Office and Student Outreach Services. Both those offices are there to help students stay successful and to help create a community where people are feeling safe as well. We have offices that are here to help in terms of other barriers that may be to student success. So our Student Accessibility Services Office and our Student Conduct and Ethical Development Office help with that. And then I have many departments that help students find their place and get connected. So Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement, the Center for Student Involvement, Office of Multicultural Affairs, Marshall Student Center, Student Government, the Oracle, of course, Residence Education, and New Student Connections, Parent Family Engagement. So I always worry that I have missed somebody along that list, and that's just my own brain, not because they aren't doing very important work.
There's a lot of departments that we have here doing a lot of great things for our students. And I think that when students get here, there's so many opportunities for them to get involved. And it might be a little overwhelming. Like, what is the best fit? Which direction should I go? So how do you help direct students to get them plugged in and involved?
Yeah, so we start with orientation and talking with them about engagement opportunities and how to start off. They find a lot from their peers. You're going to talk to a pal later who's amazing at talking about helping students get involved. Their RAs, there will be their orientation leaders, and then we have students within CLCE who also help students find their place. Bulls Connect is always where we tell people to start, and that is our platform that has all of our, I think we're at 800 student organizations.
Wow.
And then all of the different activities or events that are happening all across campus. So at any time of the day or night, there are activities happening all across. So Bulls Connect is the best place for that. We have, certain days that we have, Bulls Connect days or student organization fairs to try to help students navigate how to get the most out of Bulls Connect, how to find the information that they're needing, and then how to actually meet student organizations. You also see them at a lot of events. So obviously Bull Market on Wednesdays is a great place to find these organizations. Patio Tuesdays that Center for Student Involvement put on, they often have different departments and organizations there as well. So really any activity, anything that a student wants to get involved with, they could probably find a student organization or department to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find a place and get involved here.
It is. And so as you talked about, it can be overwhelming and to think about where to start. So I typically tell students that by the time to set a path and some goals in their involvement. And so during their time here at USF, one, they should not wait to get involved. So they very quickly need to engage somewhere. It's a great stress relief. It's a great way to meet people. Too often students wait. They think they need to get all their academics down first, and then they're not happy here. And while those classes are extremely interesting and engaging, it's always better when you can have something else outside of that. And it helps your academics as well because you're meeting people who've taken those classes or maybe are in classes with you. And then by the time they graduate, they should do something that's going to help them professionally. So it might be something within their major, or it might be public speaking, or it might be learning golf because that's where the deals are made. So something that's going to help them professionally, something that is going to challenge them. This is the time to take risks, the time to succeed beautifully and fail beautifully and learn from both. And so this is a great opportunity to do that. And then, of course, our value at USF is to give back. And so they should do something where they're giving back to the university as well. So, their path, it could be in any way. It could be in residence education. It could be fraternities and sororities. It could be religious and spiritual life. It could be intramurals or any of the other 800 student organizations or working in one of our departments. Those are great engagement opportunities as well. But just have a plan for who do you want to meet, alumni or people who work in the field or people who are like you or people who are different than you, and just go to different meetings, go to different events and programming that first semester, and then start to narrow things down. Don't get over-involved, but try to narrow things down as they go along in terms of what they're really passionate about, and then those goals that I talked about too.
That is some great advice, honestly. I may be stopping by your office for some pep talks because I feel so inspired after that. But, there are so many different opportunities for students. And as you mentioned, you got to find the thing that works for you.
Right.
So, as you said, we have 800 student organizations on this campus. Chances are there's probably something that you can get plugged in with.
Right.
But what about if a student says, I have this great idea for this organization that we don't already have?
Right.
Can they go about creating that themselves?
Absolutely. That's why we have over 800 student organizations. Yeah, they just need to find 5 other people that want to join this organization, and a faculty or staff person who is willing to be their advisor. And then the Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement has a constitutional template to make it really easy for them to fill out what their governing documents are going to be for their organization. And then they submit all of that through Bulls Connect. And the CLCE hosts some workshops for people who are starting new organizations to help them really get the foundation for it and to create something that can be long-lasting. And then they hold a lot of other workshops to help them continue to lead their organizations and then transition their organizations to other people as they move along. So, yeah, that's every time I think that we have everything, a student comes up with some creative idea and they find 5 other people, typically through social media, who want to do it with them. And it's amazing the creativity and the engagement and the impact that our students make all over campus.
But that's so exciting to hear too that your team also helps, or our partners on campus also help these student organizations get off the ground, because I know that could be the biggest roadblock as they're getting things going.
Well, student organizations are their leadership laboratory. This is the place to learn how to lead other people, how to work with other people, how to manage conflict. And so while some learning is through experience, other learning is through having other people develop workshops or trainings or speaker events. We've had people from corporations come and talk. We've had, lots of different workshops for the students to continue to build those leadership skills in their organizations and their classrooms, and hopefully they take all of those great skills into their careers or into their civic organizations they get involved with later. I see many organizations run by adults that don't know how to run an organization, and so we hope that what we've done is given them a good foundation so that they can be successful and have really great, successful, impactful organizations when they're adults or out in the community and actively engaged in their communities.
Not only prepared, but also having that confidence to implement the organizations as well.
Absolutely.
What about the summer? Is there any leadership opportunities over the summer?
Yeah, so USF never stops.
Never stops.
Nope, it never stops. And so we have students here all year round, and so students are still wanting to get engaged. Now, of course, summer we have a little less organizations that are really actively involved because so many students are studying abroad or working or doing all of the many things that our students do during the summer. But lots of different opportunities. So housing is still open all summer. So we have RA positions, we have desk assistant positions, all kinds of positions in there, and the hall councils will be running as well. So definitely those leadership opportunities. activities. All of the departments that I've talked about in my area and all over the university are continuing to function during the summer and have paid and unpaid leadership positions for students. And then, like I said, many of the student organizations continue to be involved and active. And so there's lots of opportunities for students to continue to get involved and to take leadership positions and continue their leadership development.
So if people are watching, they're hearing about all these great partners and groups and organizations, and they're like, wow, I want to be involved, but where do I start? What is the best place for them to go to kind of start exploring what their options are? Yeah,
so Bulls Connect is the best place to look. There's the calendar of events. They can filter what types of things that they might be interested in. So maybe they're just interested in service. They can filter Bulls Connect to try to help that narrow down a little bit and see what types of activities are there. All student organization meetings and activities are open. And so they can always go. I usually tell students, grab your friend. You pick an organization, they pick an organization, you go together to each of them, and that way you don't feel alone in that, and then decide whether you want to come back or not. And so that's how I got involved in college. That's how I encourage other students to do that as well. I went to organization meetings I never thought that I would have been involved with, and then continued and liked the people there and continued that. And so it's always easier when you can bring somebody along with them. So going to those organization meetings and seeing if that's what they're interested in, going to different programs around campus. Obviously, as I said, always stopping at Bull Market and seeing what groups those organizations would love to talk to you about their activities and what they do and how to get involved with them. And then if you're looking to try to narrow it down and for some upperclassmen who have kind of been through it and know a lot of the different organizations around campus, our peer advisor leaders, their RAs, and then as I said, we've got some involvement advisors in the Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement and in the Center for Student Involvement. So those are different areas where they could talk with another student, a peer, because it's a little different when I tell you about how to get involved and what to get involved with. It's been a little while since I've been a college student, but they are here and they are college students at USF, so they're very familiar with the different student organizations and how to get involved and the easiest way to find what they're looking for. I tell students that, it's great. You get to, as I said, you get to try things. There are organizations here that definitely were not in their high schools or other schools that they may have transferred from. And so this is a great opportunity to check out all of those different groups and activities that you never thought that you might want to be involved with or you never got the opportunity to do.
I mean, with 800 organizations, it's at least worth it to peruse the list and see what's out there, because 800, I mean.
Yeah, whether you want to play rugby or you want to swing dance or you want to go eat at restaurants or you want to play Dungeons and Dragons, there is something for everybody. Or you can do all of those things. I'm not sure all at the same time, but you can find an organization to do any of those things.
Or at least try it out. It can never hurt.
Right. Or start your own if you can't find what you really want.
If people have questions and they don't really know where to start, I know you listed off so many different departments that your team works with, that you work with. Who would be the best person to contact with questions?
I think it's the Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement. They run Bulls Connect, and so they probably have their pulse on a lot of the different activities and organizations going on. So contacting that office, obviously going to Bulls Connect, and looking up a lot of the different organizations on their social media. That's where you'll see a lot of their different activities. So almost all of them have an Instagram account or a Discord, or those are probably the two that are the most active. Some still have Facebook. And so I think that's those are some of the best places to look and to reach out to folks if they want to get involved.
Well, Dean McDonald, we appreciate you. We appreciate everything you do for our students, and thank you so much for spending a little time with us tonight. We enjoyed it so much.
I'm always happy to talk about my favorite topic, which is getting students engaged and involved on campus. So thank you.
Of course, we appreciate you. If you have any questions for Dean McDonald or for any questions regarding leadership, feel free to contact us at Housing, and we can send you to the right place. We know we listed off a lot of departments, so we'll direct you to the right place of where you need to be. We have more Housing Live planned after the break, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
So I'm Kayla Lanier. I'm the Assistant Dean of the Judy Ginshaft Honors College here at USF Sarasota Manatee. I've been here for 4 years, but I've been with the Honors College for 15, and I was an Honors College student myself here at USF. I chose to live in the Honors residential experience. We didn't have an LLC at the time. It was just other Honors students living together. Choosing to live in the Honors housing gave me a little bit of comfort that the people that I'd be living with also cared about their studies and also would be kind of focused on homework. So it gave me a lot of comfort, and it really turned out to be the case. I took that 8 a.m. chemistry class that it seems like every freshman takes, and there were 5 people on my hall that were also in the same class. So it seems like every morning, at least one of us was awake and knocking on all the doors being like, get up, it's time for class. So it was great having that kind of academic and residential community. And then of course, when it was time for exams, we had built-in study groups. We could just take over the kitchen space and all kind of bring our notes together and have that study time outside of class right there in our residential space. We will have an honors residential community. So just like the experience I had in college, we will have an opportunity for honors students to live together in sort of a concentrated area like a wing or a hall. And then we will have programs and activities. We're gonna do lunch with Dr. Lanier once a month, where we'll have, whether it's a book or a video or a movie or a show, where folks can kind of watch that ahead of time and then come to lunch to discuss. So as a chance for some informal conversations about things ranging from, what's happening in the Marvel universe to some more academic things, just to kind of get conversations going about a variety of topics. I'm also hoping to have some scholars dinners where we'll bring those faculty and those experts from our community to come in and give like a little miniature lecture with extended Q&A over a dinner in the dining hall. Living on campus, it's a really important opportunity to establish yourself, explore your own interests, and to really start becoming your own adult person while you're getting your college degree. I'm Dr. Lanier, and we can't wait to see you as part of our community next year. Go Bulls!
Welcome back. If you're just now joining us, this is USF Housing Live, and we're here to help you learn how to live the Bulls life at USF. Ask us your questions in the comments, and we'll answer them right here, live on the show. Now, I'd like to introduce Dr. Joseph Puccio. He is the Executive and Medical Director of Student Health and Wellness Center. How are you doing, Dr. Puccio? Thanks for being with us tonight.
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much for having me tonight.
Of course. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. So for our new viewers, why don't you just kind of give us some insight into who you are and what your role is here at USF?
Great, thank you. I am a professor of pediatrics at the Morsani College of Medicine, and I also serve as the Executive and Medical Director of Student Health Services for all of our campus health services. And what my job really entails is to make sure that all students are provided quality health care, and also looking at the different policies and procedures for the services that we do provide.
And I know you guys, your main focus are the students. You want to make sure they're taken care of and that they're in good hands. And you provide so many amazing services to our USF students. So can you just kind of give us a broad overview of what some of those services look like?
Sure. One of the things I wanted to say is in this past May, we moved into a brand new building on the Tampa campus. We have a very modern service on the St. Petersburg campus, and we'll be opening up a brand new health service on the Sarasota Manatee campus this spring. In all of the services, we provide general medical and sexual health services. And in the Tampa campus, we also provide an urgent care facility. So if students have any injuries or have acute illnesses, they can be taken care of in our urgent care facility. We also provide sexual health and gynecology services in its own suite in the Tampa campus. And we also provide psychiatric services, physical therapy services, nutrition, and we also have a immunization area where you can receive immunizations that are required for the university, if you need immunizations to go travel abroad, or the regular immunizations that you could find at your pediatrician's office.
So a lot of robust offerings. We want to make sure all the bases are covered for our students. I think one of the big concerns for our students is the cost. So one of the big questions I'm sure you guys get a lot is can students use their private health insurance at your facility?
Yes, we do accept third-party or private insurance at Student Health Services. We also provide services for primary care that is covered by the health fee that all students pay. So their primary care services are covered by the health fee. But for any additional services or any other things like vaccines or special tests, we can run through their insurance.
So just to clarify, for the primary care appointments, that would just be if they needed to come in, they weren't feeling the best, and just needed a general look over. Is that what that would be?
Yeah, just coming to see the doctor, there's no charge if you don't have insurance. If you do have insurance, we will run your insurance. But for just coming to see the doctor in general, you do not have to have insurance.
And that's, I'm sure, a sigh of relief for many students. What about vaccinations? I know you mentioned immunizations. What vaccinations do you guys offer on the campus for students?
So I like to categorize three elements of vaccines. We do offer the vaccines that are required to come to the university. So that's usually the measles, mumps, and for certain student populations, we do have to screen for tuberculosis. So we provide those on campus. We also provide, like I said, general pediatric or general young adult vaccinations, such as tetanus, the HPV vaccine. We will provide COVID vaccines. We'll provide flu vaccines. So the general population, we will provide those vaccines. And then for students that may be traveling abroad, whether for an education experience or for research, we do provide travel vaccines for more remote areas for specific diseases such as malaria, which is a prophylactic type of medication that we give for travelers, or for like yellow fever for certain areas that need to be vaccinated for yellow fever.
So if students are listening to you right now and they're like, this is great news, maybe they needed one of these services, how do they set up that appointment to come visit you guys?
So the best way to schedule an appointment for Student Health Services is to go online to our website, which is usf.edu/SHWC, Student Health Wellness Center, and look to schedule an appointment online. If you don't like to schedule appointments online, that's fine too. You can contact our call center by calling 813-974-2331. And both of those opportunities to schedule appointments are good for all three campuses.
Okay. Do you guys, is everything in person? I know most of the time, you have to come in to be looked at, but sometimes virtual appointments are possible. So is that something that you guys offer, or?
So we really have transitioned away from telehealth type of appointments because the students really were not happy with them. And as providers, we also like to meet with the students face to face so that we could really answer the questions, being able to spend time with students. And sometimes there was a little bit of impersonalization with the telehealth appointments. So we really do not offer telehealth anymore. But like I said, we do have appointments on all of our campuses.
That in-person, face-to-face aspect really makes all the difference. So totally understandable. I know you've mentioned a few times the different campuses, and I know that you said coming in the spring, Sarasota is going to be getting a center as well.
A brand new health center. We do
center.
have services down there, but the health center will be brand new.
That's very exciting. So just for our viewers who are watching, because we have some from Tampa, some from St. Pete, some from Sarasota, can you just briefly go over again which services are offered on each campus?
So Tampa is inclusive of all the services that I already talked about. Mm-hmm. In the St. Petersburg campus, we do offer immunizations, we do offer general medicine, and we do offer sexual health services. We also provide psychiatric services there as well. On the Sarasota campus, currently, we provide general medical services as well as sexual health and gynecology services and immunology services. The psychiatry services will be starting down there in person in the fall of this coming year.
That's really exciting. When does that new center officially open up in Sarasota?
So the new center in Sarasota should open sometime in the early summer.
Okay, that's super exciting. Thank you for sharing that. You heard it here first on Housing Live.
Yes, we're very excited.
If anyone is watching tonight and they have any questions for you, anything you talked about this evening, what is the best way for them to get information or contact your team?
So if they have our website really provides a lot of information, and it also, on the website, it actually does have a feature to contact us. And we do have someone that goes through all the questions and gets those questions scheduled with the correct team that could best answer those questions.
And one more time, that website again?
Is usf.edu/SHWC.
Dr. Puccio, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and thank you for everything you do for our students here at USF.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been my privilege to see you tonight.
Of course, we appreciate you. Well, we'll be right back with more USF Housing Live, so don't go anywhere.
Hi, my name is Emily Johnson. I am from Hudson, Florida. It is my second year here at the University of South Florida, and I'm currently pursuing my business management degree with a concentration in human resources, and I live here at Summit Hall. After graduation, I would love to work in human resources. It's always been a dream of mine to just help employees in their job feel more valued and motivated and encouraged. Since coming to USF, I've been involved in many different extracurriculars. Last year, I lived in Juniper Poplar Hall, and I was a part of the Bulls Business Community, which is a great LLC here at USF. It allows you to further prepare yourself for your career in business and network with other business majors, go on corporate tours, be in etiquette dinners, and I was named Bulls Business Community Student of the Year along with another student. This year, I am involved in the Acts of Kindness Club as their recruiting officer and VP of marketing, which allows me just to get to know students and bring them into our club. And we just promote kindness on campus, taking care of others as well as yourself. And I'm also in the Baptist Collegiate Ministries here at USF, BCM. I'm part of their worship team and regular team, and I get to spread the gospel on campus to other students and sing and just be a part of a great group of people. I love living on campus because I'm a walk away from pretty much everything. Living in the village means that I'm really close to the Marshall Student Center, the Hub, the Rec, and other resident halls where my friends are living. I really enjoy walking to class and just waking up in the morning and being super close to everything, and I don't have to drive. It's great because I'm very close to all of the ample resources, and it's awesome. The housing scholarship has been an immense blessing in my life because it allows me to continue living on campus. Living on campus has shaped my experience so much for the better and allowed me to really enjoy my time here at USF. My advice to those of you applying to the Housing and Residential Scholarship would just be to be yourself and talk about what your time has looked like here at USF, what you're involved in, and what makes you passionate as a student. For me, I just talked about the organizations and clubs I was a part of and how living on campus truly shaped my whole time here at USF. For those of you that have donated to the scholarship, I truly express my sincere gratitude. Living on campus means the absolute world to me, and it's an incredible experience that I do not take for granted. This scholarship has allowed me to keep living here, and I'm so grateful for that, so thank you.
Welcome back. If you're just now joining us, this is USF Housing Live, and we're here to help you learn how to live the Bulls life at USF. So ask us your questions in the comments, and we'll answer them live on the show. Now, I'd like to introduce our final guest for this evening, Micaela Prieto. She is a peer advisor leader at New Students Connections. Micaela, we're so excited to have you with us tonight. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for asking. I'm really excited to be here, too.
We are so excited to chat with you as well. Tell us first what you do at USF and kind of what that role entails.
Of course. So as a peer advisor leader, like you said, I work for the Office of New Student Connections and Parent and Family Engagement. Our role is kind of split into two. Our first role is to outreach to students, talk to them and assist them with any problems that they might be facing. The way we do this is we kind of create a plan where we guide them to make SMART goals, and we are with them through their journey of achieving the goal, right? The way they can do this is we try to connect them with different resources that we have here on campus, but also just talking to them and seeing what's the smart way to get to there, right? Our second role, which is kind of my favorite role, is more so the events that we can we throw during our week of welcome here at Tampa. These tend to take place beginning of the semester, where we throw the block party where students can come and eat food and meet each other and participate in different activities, or also find your classes where they get to see the campus, and we help them find different buildings.
When these students come to campus, you might be one of the first faces that they interact with. And, it's really important for you and your team to help them make those connections and also help them with that transition. So have you, in your time in this role, found a transition strategy that has proven to be the most helpful for these incoming students as they're making that transition?
Yes, of course. Like you said, it's a really it can be a really difficult transition just because you're coming from high school to college, right? So I personally have seen that trying to stay organized is the best way to deal with it. Having an idea, making those meetings with your advisor and talking to them and seeing what what your career goals are, but also like Dean McDonald said, enjoying time and having fun. I feel that's you're in college only once, and a lot of students get really stressed out with academics, and of course we all do. I'm a student too, but when it comes to planning and making time for yourself and also to relax and get involved on campus and have fun,
you gotta have fun too. You gotta do the learning, but also have a little fun along the way.
The best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for students watching, maybe they're thinking, well, what would I need to reach out to a peer advisor leader for? Why would I do that? So can you kind of talk through some of the reasons that people may come to you and what they're kind of asking, what questions they have?
Yes, of course. So I think that's the beauty of the work as well, because students there's not a specific reason that they can contact us, right? The peer advisor leader, the PAL job, it's we help with everything. We have a lot of students that come to us for academics, tutoring, or I don't know how to talk to my professor, office hours, what is that? But we also get a lot of people that come with I don't know what Bulls Connect is. I don't know that we had 800 different organizations, and we're well, let me show you, But with that also comes different students wanting to just talk to somebody about I need to get a job, I need to get an internship, or I'm just lost on campus, I don't know what to do, I'm a little bit confused, and we assist with all of that. It's any problem that any student might have, they can come and call us, and we'll try to, if we cannot figure it out, we'll try to connect the person with somebody that can't. You
guys have all the answers over there.
Everything.
Google search. So how would a student go about reaching out to you guys or actually making contact with you all?
Yes, of course. So there's 3 main ways that a student can contact us. The main one is our Bulls Connect page. Students can go in there, and there's a little survey that they can complete where they can select the topics that they want to talk to us about. The second way is through our Instagram, USF_NSC, where they can just send us a DM, and our marketing and Instagram person, I guess, will direct those to us, and then we'll see how we can help the student. And then the last way, also an option is just coming to our office. We're there 9 to 5. We're on the 3rd floor at the MSC, and just coming by and being I need help with this, and we'll be there to chat. Yeah.
Doors always open.
Yes.
Okay, so that side is if a student needs to, touch base with one of you. But what if they want to become a peer advisor leader? How do they go about that process? And maybe they want to get involved and they're that sounds great. I want to be the person that helps make those connections with those new students. How do they go about that process?
Of course. So now to become a peer advisor leader, one of the prerequisites is to be an OL, or an orientation leader. These people work with the orientation office here on campus. The applications for orientation office open in the fall, and you can apply as a first-year student. Okay. So then they would just become an orientation leader, work in the summer, and then after they finish their contract with the orientation office, they can apply to become a PAL.
Okay, so you got to do a little bit of the hard work, learn the ropes first.
Yeah.
What are some of the benefits? You said you've been doing it for a year, and just in the brief time we've gotten to chat, you have really expressed how much you love it.
I do.
So what are some of the benefits that you personally have experienced from being a peer advisor leader?
Yeah, so I feel there's a lot of different skills that you can develop as a PAL, and as any professional development career work. I personally feel the PAL job requires a lot of public speaking, and that's the communication skill that I've developed a lot. We do a lot of in-person, this, for example, or also we have our How to College videos on Instagram, and that really helps you kind of shape your ideas in a way that other people are going to understand, but also communicating with students, one-on-ones, and also in a set of a team. I'm not the only PAL here on campus, so it's also the teamwork that comes with that, and also just meeting people here on campus, being able to meet the different offices, and being able to connect with them and understand what their role is here. I feel that's something that I really enjoy, that learning here as a PAL. Yeah. And
you're a PAL, but you're also a college student yourself.
Yes.
So talk to me about what advice you would have for any new students who are coming to USF? They're getting ready to make this transition.
Of course.
What would be your advice to them?
My main advice is don't be afraid to ask for help. I know a lot of students sometimes like they get to their second year, like I am a sophomore, and they're like, I had no idea that there was an office for this or like that they could help me with this. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. Like we're both learning. It's a big change, especially if you're moving from home. Your parents are no longer there. Maybe you're meeting new people. And with that can come like a lot of obstacles. And with that also comes like being able to understand that like an obstacle is not gonna refrain from you not to achieving your goals, and being able to come and talk to us or come and talk to other resources on campus. And at the same time, like, it's a process. Like, have fun, enjoy your time here. It's a beautiful university. There's so many things to do. And, like being organized, but also like having fun and understanding that if things go wrong, there's always going to be somebody there to lend you a hand.
Ask questions, understand balance, have a little bit of fun, learn a little bit. It'll all come together. Micaela,
Yes.
I know you said that the best place to reach out is probably on Bulls Connect, but can you remind us one more time where your office is located in case anyone wants to stop by?
Yes, of course. So we're in the Marshall Student Center on the 3rd floor. It's like, I'm trying to like place myself there. If you're coming from the elevators, it'll be to your left, and we'll just be there. You'll see like us through the little window working. And
Waiting for people to come
Yes.
in and ask questions. Micaela, we appreciate you. Thank you for being a bright, smiling face for our students and for all the work you do here at USF.
Thank you, my pleasure. And thank you for having me here. It was great.
Of course, we appreciate you. If you have any further questions for any of tonight's guests, feel free to reach out to them with the contact info they've provided, or you can always reach out to us and we'll point you in the right direction. If you have any housing related questions, please reach out to our office by email at housing@usf.edu or by phone at 813-974-0001. Be sure to join us on March 20th at 6 p.m. for the next episode of USF Housing Live, where we'll discuss financial aid and the Counseling Center. You can watch on our Facebook or YouTube page or the USF Parent and Family Engagement Facebook page. USF Housing Live is produced by Housing and Residential Education at the University of South Florida in Tampa. Our motto is best place to live, best place to work, best place to learn. Thank you to tonight's guests for joining me this evening. Thank you to our production crew, to you, our viewers, and of course, there's always just one last thing. Go Bulls. Good night, everyone.